And I will rely on my colleagues and our board clerk and attorney and other staff to help keep me on task. So thank you in advance for your patience. I do want to say one note, Spectrum Cable is having difficulties and our GCS TV signal is off the air right now. They're working on it. Spectrum's aware of it. They say they're trying to resolve it. I know they have been for well over an hour. In the meantime, the meeting is still available on our YouTube live stream, and that can be found on the GCS website at gcsnc.com. So if you're texting or communicating with folks who are having trouble seeing it on TV, they can see it on YouTube, and that live stream is on our website. As soon as Spectrum gets the cable issue resolved, our technology staff will be working to make sure that we're streaming again on the cable channel. I'm going to quickly call on Deborah Napper for the pledge and our moment of silence.
If you would please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now if you would remain standing for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Please be seated.
I think we have some early business immediately. Anita, do you have a motion?
I do. I move we go into closed session to preserve the attorney-client privilege and to discuss personnel matters protected by state law.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll go into closed session and we'll be back to continue with the meeting. On us back into open session. Do I just do that? Do I need a motion, or are we just back in? Okay. All right, we are moving to do recognitions. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I thought nobody saw. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Thank y'all. We do, we're supposed to have a public hearing on the superintendent's recommended budget presented at our last April 22nd budget meeting. We have up to 30 minutes, but I don't think
Madam
anybody.
Chair.
Hold on 1 second, just hold on, and then yes. It's my understanding that no one signed up to speak during the budget comment period. We do have public comments, but not during the budget comment period. Anita?
I was just going to ask that we do the recognitions before we get into the meat, so the families don't
Yes.
have to sit here
And
forever.
there were no public comments received, according to the clerk, about the budget specifically. Other public comments, but not in the budget hearing portion. So, is that, okay. So we are going to move to student remembrances and we appreciate the patience of all those who are present. And again, just pardon my fumbling through a little bit. Is Dina Hayes back on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. You can witness why you're better at this job than I am tonight, for sure.
You're doing fine. Thank you.
You don't sound so good. But we are going to remember 3 students who passed away this school year. And although we celebrate their lives and the positive impact that they made on the GCS family, our hearts are extended in grief to their loved ones, their friends, their family, their community of support. And on behalf of the Board of Education, we'd like to extend our deepest condolences to you, the family, to the friends and the teachers, their broader community of support of Kaylee Davidson Ford, Gabriel Kalu, and Noah Beal. Anita?
High Point Central's Kaylee Davidson Ford was a vibrant young lady who was full of life. She was beautiful, too. She was a free spirit who took on many challenges, both academic and personal, with the confidence that she could accomplish whatever she set her mind to doing. And she was a very good athlete. Kaylee was full of passion and cared about others deeply and thought of herself as a protector. Kaylee was extremely vocal, I like that, and would articulate exactly what she felt in a way that drew you in and forced you to take notice. Kaylee is deeply missed by her friends, teachers, administrators, and family.
Gabriel Kalu was a senior at Grimsley High School and dual enrolled at Guilford Technical Community College. Gabe was an avid gamer, lyricist, songwriter, skater, runner, and armchair philosopher and scientist. He enjoyed his years in cross country and indoor track at Grimsley, as well as track and field at Aycock Middle School. He liked to spend time with his friends, gaming on PlayStation or Oculus, writing, learning, teaching, debating, giving, and making memories with his girlfriend. Gabriel would often help and do for others without accepting recognition for his acts of kindness. He often brought food and supplies to those without homes and volunteered in assisted care facilities while in the health science program at school. He would have made a wonderful nurse. Gabriel was tentatively planning to stay in Greensboro when he graduated to attend UNCG or NC-A&T. He had been accepted to 11 colleges and received 6 merit-based scholarships so far. Gabe's impact expanded beyond what he could have possibly understood, and he is sadly missed.
Noah Beal was a charismatic, loving, caring young man who attended Southwest Guilford High. He was always willing to help anyone that asked him. He was insightful, and everyone he met became a friend. He had a listening ear. He was a talented writer who used words to make sense of his feelings and situations. Adults would often find themselves engrossed in deep and thoughtful conversations with Noah and would be challenged to think about the world in a different way. Noah was a loyal and protective friend. If any trouble or heartache came upon a friend of his, he was right there with compassionate words and humble support. His heart for people and his family was evident in his daily work and the relationships that he built with the staff at Southwest. Noah's impression and obviously his love for the Southwest nation will certainly be missed.
So in truth, we were privileged to know these extraordinary students and humans for a brief amount of time. But in their own ways, we know they helped to create memories that will be cherished forever, especially by those who loved them and knew them well. So to honor them, we'd like all of you and those watching and listening to please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. And so friends, family, educators who were close to Gabriel, Noah, and Kaylee, we invite you to come forward so that we can speak with you personally.
Yes, yes, that's how I meant to. Yes. With the mask. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know, I was in a whole room right there. Good evening. I'm so sorry.
Gabriel's mom reminded me, I think we met under the shelter at Grimsley when our boys were first running cross country. And I didn't recognize her with her mask, so I'm so very sorry for all of your losses. All right, next, I have a United Way Spirit Award. Let's see, is that here? Where am I missing? Here we go. All the pieces of paper, they try and make it easy for me, but we are going to celebrate the employees and students who contributed to this year's award-winning United Way campaign. Our United Way here has been recognized nationally for their extraordinary work in combating poverty and systemic and root issues that impact families and children. And I just know that from my work in the community, and I know many of you do too. We're extremely grateful to have the United Way is such a bold and innovative organization in our community. It's my pleasure to ask Joe Barnes, who's the Vice President of Resource Development, creates all the fuel that makes the machine go, of Greater High Point, to come forward to the podium for a special presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening to everyone. And Superintendent, it's good to see all of you, and our Board of Educators is good to see all of you, and all of you staff and faculty and families that are here this evening. We're here to recognize the great work on another level. Guilford County Schools does an outstanding job in educating our youth, and I'm a proud product of Guilford County Schools, a class of 1982 from Eastern Guilford High School. Any Wildcats in the house? Go Wildcats. So we're grateful to be here as always. And I just want to share this from the North Carolina. You all did a great job. Here's a press release that we'd like to share in recognition of Guilford County Schools. United Way of Greater High Point and Greater Greensboro announced that Guilford County Schools received the 2021 Spirit of North Carolina Award for building momentum and sustainability through engaged leadership and employees. Moving through response to recovery from COVID-19 pandemic, Guilford County Schools has led the way in meeting community needs through their fundraising, volunteer, and advocacy efforts. United Way of North Carolina's annual Spirit of North Carolina Award celebrates organizations for their campaign excellence achieved through impactful events, engaged leadership, and volunteer engagement. Organizations championing DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion values and post-pandemic rebuilding efforts were all celebrated on March 1st at the United Way of North Carolina's it recognized 75 winners representing 22 local United Ways across the state. The Spirit of North Carolina Award gives United Way of Greater High Point and Greater Greensboro an opportunity to acknowledge organizations who positively impact our neighborhoods, said Joe Barnes, that's me. We applaud Guilford County Schools for being difference makers in our community, and we're excited to honor them on March the 1st. Guilford County Schools was recognized for implementing a campaign strategy that was educational, engaging, and fun. The theme was Hidden Figures, sharing that each Guilford County school employee is doing impactful work and encourage them to give some of their dollars to impact the community. Thus, the results were as follows. Department participation was up 5%, staff participation up 2%, leadership giving, those that gave $1,000 or more, was up 1%, student campaigns were up 95%, which resulted in a $7,200, which were new dollars this year. Guilford County Schools United Way campaign raised over $345,000 for Guilford County students, families, and individuals. That deserves a round of applause right there. "2021 was a year of continued challenges, requiring flexibility and creativity when planning fundraising campaigns. Our heartfelt congratulations to all of our 2021 Spirit of North Carolina winners for their incredible accomplishments and dedication to United Way." Jane Leapster, President of United Way of Greater High Point. So today is with pride that I present to all of almost 10,000 employees, staff, family, and students of this great Guilford County, this award to say thank you for giving back and taking care of our community on the level of human service and human kindness. God bless you.
Nearly $350,000, while you go down to accept on behalf of our employees, nearly $350,000 of personal money, right? That's personal money. I know from having spent a lot of time as a fundraiser, the middle class in America gives the largest percentage of their income to charity in this country. And there's no question that teachers and principals and school counselors and custodians and bus drivers have been extraordinarily generous in this effort to give back to our community. So I really salute our employees for that generosity, and thank you. And of course, our students set the bar the highest with that 95% increase. So we can all hope to work as hard and achieve as high as our students. Joe, thank you so much. If there are any other representatives from the United Way or involved in the campaign, thank you so much. So one more round of applause for the United Way and our employees. So speaking of our employees, we're going to highlight our district's outstanding employees and declare May as GCS Employee Appreciation Month, though we want you to know we appreciate you every month. The GCS Employee Appreciation Campaign expands on National Teacher Appreciation Week during the first week in May. And for the 12th consecutive year, and in the spirit of true teamwork, we want to not only thank our teachers, but also thank all employees who work together to help our children thrive in the classroom and beyond. During the month of May, we invite the community to help us celebrate teachers, administrators, support skilled staff who hit a home run for our students. Please tell us about your Education All-Star on social media using the hashtag GCS All-Stars. I see some social media people here tonight, so make sure you use that hashtag GCS All-Stars, or share a story with us by email at goodnews@gcsnc.com, and we can share that with broader audiences and celebrate our employees. GCS Employee Appreciation Month gives the district and the community an opportunity to say thank you, show our folks that we respect them and that they have the respect that they deserve, not this month, just this month, but every month. Together, GCS employees are definitely batting 1,000. So at this time, I'd like to ask Linda Wellborn to read aloud the resolution declaring May as Employee Appreciation Month. Take it away, Linda.
Yay. Guilford County Board of Education. Hang on.
There
we go. Guilford County Board of Education proclamation declaring May 2022 as Employee Appreciation Month. Whereas Guilford County Schools is a district with tremendous educators who work to open students' minds to ideals, knowledge, and dreams. And whereas educators work with other support staff to help students achieve excellence in the classroom and beyond. And whereas these dedicated employees, including teachers, bus drivers, counselors, social workers, principals, custodians, school nutrition staff, central office support staff, and more, work together to keep the district moving forward day to day, month to month, and each and every school year. And whereas in Guilford County Schools, we know it takes a winning team to bring learning to life, and in the spirit of true teamwork, Guilford County Schools celebrates all employees and declares the entire month of May as Employee Appreciation Month. And therefore, we, Guilford County Board of Education, hereby recognize the month of May in the year 2022 as Guilford County Schools Employee Appreciation Month to show appreciation for all our employees. And we truly, truly, truly appreciate everyone that works within our buildings and supports our children. Thank you.
And finally tonight, while we recognize all employees, it helps us to lift up one in particular to provide that example to inspire others and in the community. So we'll recognize our May Employee of the Month. Nancy Cravey, will you please come to the podium? Come on down. It's like the Price is Right, Nancy. It's your time to be embarrassed in public. She knows the role of a GCS media specialist. It's a role in which she excelled during the majority of her 20-year career in the district. Now in a central office position as the district library media coordinator, she is receiving kudos from her colleagues for the wisdom and support she provides to media specialists across the county, earning her the title of May GCS Employee of the Month. We know how librarians like lots of attention and being in the spotlight. You're loving this. Nancy handles many tasks, from coordinating the Battle of the Books competitions to leading professional development, helping ensure book collections are culturally relevant across the district. Nancy is the glue that holds all library media specialists in the county together, wrote Bonnie Allegro, media specialist at Nathaniel Green Elementary, in one of 20 nominations that was written. She is warm and friendly, makes her approachable. She's knowledgeable and an expert in her field, which makes her a valuable resource to those of us in school trying to build quality library media programs. These are more quotes. She is an advocate for our positions, realizing we wear many hats, does her best to support us, regardless of the hat we're wearing. Nancy is invaluable to GCS. We are blessed, lucky, and fortunate to have her on our team. So, as a minuscule token of our grand appreciation, you have received a $50 gift card, courtesy of the Greensboro JCs, and we appreciate that. During the month of May, more recognition when your photo will hang at the central office and in the Greensboro JC's office. Maybe we'll get them to do like a float in the Christmas parade. At this time, I'd like to ask Board Member Betty Jenkins to read aloud the certificate honoring Nancy.
Thank you. Guilford County Board of Education Certificate of Recognition presented to Nancy Gravy, Library Media Services, for Employee of the Month, sponsored by Greensboro JC's, May 2022. It is signed by Superintendent Dr. Sharon L. Contreras, also the Board Chair, Dina Hayes Green.
So Betty, if you'll present that. Oh, excuse me. And remember, we have 10,000 employees, so to be one of 12, it's something special, and we appreciate you. Would you like to say a few words?
Just a few. First of all, I want to thank the JCs for their support of the Employee of the Month program. I deeply appreciated the gift card. I'm always happy for an excuse to go shopping. And also, I've nominated people for Employee of the Month. I didn't realize that when you're nominated, you get to read the nominations. So reading the words that my coworkers wrote was deeply gratifying. And I'm choking up a little bit. I couldn't do what I do if they weren't such an amazing group of educators, or if I didn't have the leadership of my director, Natalie Strange. I value her guidance so much. But really, our school library media coordinators are some of the most dedicated, hardworking staff in our schools. And I just am so blessed that I get to help them in their efforts to support all of our students. And I get to see that just about every day. And that is really the greatest part of my job. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'd love to congratulate you in person, and if you have family or friends here with you. I think all of us who've had children in school have a story about a library lady or a media specialist who made a real impact on their lives. I know my boys did, so thank you again. Setting the bar high. So are we doing the motion before public comments? That is totally up to you. Are we ready? All right, we're going to do a little business before public comments, and then we'll move into that. Okay.
I make a motion that we amend the deputy superintendent's contract for Dr. Whitney Oakley.
Would you read the motions I sent you, please, if they have the details you need?
Oh,
More detail is in the.
I apologize. I thought we made a different arrangement.
It's okay.
Sorry, Jill. Forgive me.
There's legalese in personnel matters that we have to get right. So we're going to
Thank you.
make sure we get the legalese right when it comes to personnel matters.
Absolutely. Then I move to extend the contract of the deputy superintendent through June 30th, 2024.
Second.
Going to vote. Kim will do that on the board. Is that correct?
Since you don't have it as an item, you can vote by voice.
Okay,
So
well,
Ayes
go
and
down the
nays.
row. Anita?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 And Dina, you're on the phone?
Yes, and I
Okay.
vote yes.
All right. So that passes, are there 8 of us here tonight? 8-0. Pat Tillman's joining us late. All right, I believe we have a second motion.
Yes, I move to appoint Whitney Oakley, our deputy superintendent, as acting superintendent on July 11th, 2022 through the superintendent's last day of employment, August 31st, 2022.
Second.
So again, we'll do voice vote. We'll go opposite end. Diane?
Yes.
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 And Dina?
Yes.
Don't we have a third?
It passes.
Oh, I'm sorry. It passed 8-0. Thank you. I keep looking at the board
It's
like it's
fine.
going to give me the number.
And finally, I move to appoint Whitney Oakley as interim superintendent effective September 1st, 2022.
Second.
We'll start with you, Anita.
Aye.
Yes.
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 And Dina?
Yes.
Okay, that also passes 8-0. Dr. Oakley. We appreciate your leadership, your hard work, and I know that your colleagues will appreciate it, as will we in the months to come, though your family may not. We'll send cookies or biscuits or something. I know. All right, so now we are back on track with public comments. Am I right, Kimberly, Dr. Funderburk? All right, I do have a list. So, folks have registered. We have a maximum of 3 minutes granted to each speaker with a total of 30 minutes. As they come forward, we'll ask them to state their name and follow the lights. And so Chrissy Smith is, I believe, our first speaker. Chrissy, I think you know the rules, name and address, and you have 3 minutes. When the orange light goes on, she has 30 seconds left. Is that right? Do I have that correct? Chrissy may know better than I do.
Thanks.
So look for the orange light, and thank you.
Hey.
Stating your name doesn't count against your time.
My name is Chrissy Smith, and in 2020, GCS received not only $300 million for the bond on the ballot, but did you know that in 2021, they received $33,282,413,000 in 2021, and of this, $500,590,142,000 was supposed to go to construction. $240 million of the $300 million that was received in 2020 went to design of 6 schools without 1 brick being laid. Meanwhile, $400,000 went to outfit this administration building during the 2020 school year, and they are completed it with a metal detector and an armed guard. But our schools are failing, and there are children that are going to schools in the winter with winter coats on because it wasn't warm enough for a number of consecutive days for them to turn the heat on. And if the schools were in such bad shape for them to want to get the bond, then why did you allocate $700,000 from the maintenance fund in order to build a new recording studio, and $35 million of the ESSER funds that was supposed to be for COVID relief went to a new training facility? Because I feel like the students need to be proficient in math and reading, and that is what the real issue is. Did you know that last year in the EOC, the students only passed 8% of math? 8%. 8% of 100 is an F, in my opinion. And I'm not here not only as a taxpayer, but I'm a concerned teacher. I work for Guilford Tech. I see the product of Guilford County Schools. And a lot of the kids that I see in advising over the summer, because I do help with that, have to take remedial math classes and remedial English classes because they're not prepared when they get there. The student oftentimes becomes discouraged because they're not able to take the classes that they want, including the prerequisite classes in order for the core classes that they need for their degree. So what happens to these students? A lot of them probably just end up dropping out and end up getting a job not doing the thing that they wanted to do. And so they end up not making the amount of money that they want and not being able to accomplish the dreams that they came to GTCC for. So not only are you producing a poor product, but you've also lost a third of your faculty and staff. So throwing more money at the situation is not going to fix it. And pushing these assemblies with taxpayer dollars in order to promote the bond is illegal. And I think that this board needs to be replaced because they are not producing a good student. If I was an employee of an employer and I had that same type of track record, I believe that I would have been fired. And some of you have been on the board for 20 years. It is time for new leadership.
Thank you, Chrissy. Your time's up. I appreciate it. I encourage folks to go to the GCS website. You can get accurate numbers. Speakers can sometimes make errors in the accuracy, so there's accurate information both about testing results and dollars on the GCS website if you need to verify numbers.
Madam Chair, I was given the understanding that we don't respond to speakers.
I wasn't responding
Are
to
we
the speaker.
now
I'm providing information
we
to the
now
public. So
responding
Lee
to the
Williams
speakers?
is our next speaker. Thank you, Mr. Williams. You have 3 minutes. If you state your name and address, that doesn't count against your time. And when the orange light goes on, you may begin to wrap up. You have 30 seconds, 15 seconds left at the orange light.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lee A. Williams II. I am the father of 3 beautiful, brilliant, intelligent, vibrant, and amazingly dope young people. I have a baby girl who goes to Jones Elementary. I have a son who goes to Irwin. And then my oldest goes to Lincoln. That's heartbreaking for me because not only am I the father of these 3 great kids, I'm also the older brother, the uncle, the whatever you need for the students at Harrison Middle School because I'm their principal. And my son goes to Lincoln. Heartbreaking. What's even more heartbreaking, though, is the conditions of our schools that we see right now. Our Dante Roy said it best. She said that at times of COVID or the times of a pandemic, we can do one or two things. We can either continue with where we are going and drag the dead carcasses of our past into a new place, or we can do something new. We can revive life. I fear that education has come into a place of educational agnosia. What this means is we don't even recognize the brilliance that our students own anymore because we are used to the same thing. Education has not shifted since the 50s. I heard what you said. You're right. Our students are struggling. But there's an answer. The answer is to remove this educational agnosia that we have and to empower our students and give them a place of innovation, a place that creates collaboration, a place that innovates and drives them to the future. And that is why we must exercise our right to vote for this bond. It is imperative that we find the true information, that we look at the facts. It is imperative that we think about every $1 million spent, 11.7 jobs will be created. This removes the economic inequities that we see that end up plaguing education. It's a hand-in-hand situation. With spending $3 million in this bond and $1.7 billion of the bond, we'll see 23.4 thousand jobs created. I don't know about you, but as a principal of Harrison Middle School, where I see the impoverished families come, searching for answers, looking to move education, this is what our community needs. I mentioned earlier that my daughter goes to Jones Elementary. She said, "Daddy, I want to speak Spanish. Can I speak Spanish to you?" "Sure, baby." Then my little kindergartner says to me, "Well, Daddy, what do I do next?" As a parent, it's a hard question. But I think about the bond. My baby can go K through 8. My son, who gets dressed for Lincoln and is excited to go because he chose Lincoln over going to school with his daddy. Imagine that. Talks about the condition of Lincoln. And my son, being a beautiful black boy, deserves this education that he is striving for. He deserves a facility that embraces him. He deserves a facility that innovates his change. All of our students deserve that. So once again, I can't tell you how to vote. All I can ask you is to exercise your right on May 17th. Exercise the given right that we have in this country to vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And thank you for your service. Cheryl Beeson. Oh, careful. I believe Cheryl may know the rules. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address. It doesn't count against your time. 15 seconds when the orange light comes on.
Good evening to the Board of Education. As an educator since 1977, I am here this evening because I want, first of all, to commend you for following the research that tells us ways to make lives for students and staff better in Guilford County when they are in our schools. Some excellent examples of the ways that Guilford County Schools is a national leader that I'm aware of currently include the social emotional learning practices for adults prior to their implementation with students. And if ever there was a time when adults needed some social emotional learning, it has been teaching and working in a school system during a pandemic. So thank you for that. I'm also grateful for the evolution of equity work that has long been placed in our schools and for providing leadership development opportunities that do not take successful teachers out of the classroom, and that is through opportunity culture. I know that the majority of Americans, North Carolinians, and our neighbors in Guilford County want very much to prepare all students for the future, not the past. We want accurate history taught to our students, not stories that we wish were true. We want more arts education available K-12, and we want technical programs offered to our teenagers. We want our students to be safe, and we know that means more staff members, which we know also means more money because salaries and benefits are the largest expense our district has. We want our teachers to be treated as professionals, and we thank you for honoring all of GCS employees this evening. Threats by outsiders make teachers' jobs difficult and nearly impossible. As teacher turnover is on the rise across the nation, we hope that somehow Guilford County Schools will be the exception. We want more counselors, social workers, teachers, media specialists, and we want them to be able to be treated as the professionals that they are. We want also the facilities that our future leaders deserve. We, and I believe we are the majority in Guilford County, do not want leaders who want to take education back to bygone eras when our schools were not concerned with all of our students, regardless of their very complex identities, LGBTQ, multiracial, and certainly students who were scarred by the trauma of a worldwide pandemic that interrupted their education. Our educators know that all students matter, and they are here for them now. Thank you to this Board of Education for demonstrating lifelong learning and for demonstrating radical empathy. Thank you.
Thank you. LaCrystal Davis is the next speaker. Ms. Davis, if you would state your name and address for the record, that does not count against your time. You then have 3 minutes to speak. When the yellow light goes on, you have 15 seconds left. I'm getting better at this.
Here's your mic.
But I didn't turn my mic on. Keeps me humble.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Contreras and GCS school board members. My name is LaCrystal Davis, and I'm the founder, executive director, and college consultant for the Legacy Foundation. Ms. Gilmer is a board member, and Lanaya Gilmer is one of my 26 students. The Legacy Foundation is a 501c3 organization that provides services to Guilford County college-bound young women beginning their senior year in high school. Our mission is to provide programs that will develop college, career, social, and financial readiness in the lives of the young women that we serve. And our goal is to remove any barriers that will prevent them from being able to enroll in college as well as graduate. We serve our high school seniors through our STAR program, and upon graduating high school, our students transition into the GOLD program for college students. Our students are navigated through college applications, financial aid, college administrative challenges, and more. Through partnerships and donations, our students receive school supplies, dorm room items, assistance with college-associated fees, and participate in workshops. During our first year, our STAR program class of 2021 received in total 28 college acceptance letters and $96,000 in scholarships offers. And our class of 2022 accomplishments currently stands at 40 college acceptance letters and $577,000 in scholarship offers. We ensure that our young women submit their college acceptances, scholarships, and financial aid awards to their appropriate high school officials. So that we may reach more young women, we desire to enhance our partnership with GCS. On Sunday, May 22nd, we will host a graduation for our STAR Programs class of 2022. An invitation was sent to each school board member via email on Wednesday, May 4th. We hope to see you there. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lanaya Gilmer, and I'm a graduate of Southern Guilford High School, and I'm currently pursuing a Bachelor's of Science degree in Public Health from North Carolina Central University. I am also a Legacy Foundation ambassador, former member of the STAR program, and current member of the GOLD program. The Legacy Foundation has guided me through many milestones. Starting my senior year of high school, I was not familiar with what the whole college application process consisted of. Through workshops, college guest speakers, and many one-on-one mentoring sessions, I learned how to be competitive and successful. Entering the GOLD program this past year, I learned tips on how to navigate the college experience. I also experienced workshops for professional development and networking. Because of my experience with the Legacy Foundation, I had a successful transition to college as well as an amazing first year. Ms. Davis has been dedicated to her girls and really trying to make sure that we all progress, and her passions have truly elevated us all, and the Legacy Foundation has been an amazing experience, and we'd like to reach more young women.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your service to our students. Dr. Sarah Molino, I've got my mic on. You have 3 minutes. When you state your name and address, it doesn't count against your time. And when the yellow light or the orange light goes on, you have 15 seconds remaining. Welcome.
I need to say my name and address, right? Okay, so my name is Sarah Molino, and I live at 4100 Wellspring Drive in Greensboro, 27410. I am a retired Guilford College history professor, and I'm also a parent of 3 children who attended Greensboro City Schools. That's when it was before it was Guilford County, etc. My children are now adults, and the education that they received at Sternbury Elementary School, Lindley Middle School, junior high, at Grimsley High School prepared them well to go on to college and graduate school. They are now 50 years old, 46 years old, and 39. They received fine education in our public schools, and I'm happy to report that each of them discovered their paths in life and have gone on to be self-sufficient and high-functioning, more or less, adults. While my children were in school, I also volunteered in various capacities so I could see what was happening in their schools. I was working full-time, but I wanted to support my children's schools as best I could. Each of my children has found employment in their chosen fields, and they have benefited from the extracurricular activities that their schools offered. Tamar, my eldest, is now a rabbi in Spokane, Washington, and she became a violinist, signing up for orchestra, and played in the Grimsley High School Orchestra and then in the City Youth Orchestra. So she found an extracurricular activity that meant a great deal to her. My son Daniel is a lawyer and a businessman. Jazz band gave Daniel part of his start as a pianist. He'd started a little bit before that, to be accurate, but anyway, he minored in music in college and has played in bands ever since. Today he plays music with an informal neighborhood band in Atlanta, and also plays other instruments with his family. My son David, the 39-year-old, owns his own online shoe company, and he is an athlete and played every sport in high school and college. He got his start as quarterback on the Grimsley High School football team, and he even won the Page game, which some of you may be familiar with. This was my claim to fame. I was the mother of the quarterback who won the Page game. David was also on the golf team, though his main sport at Grimsley was football. Coach Joe Franks at Grimsley kept him in line. Coach Franks and I were both relieved when David finally graduated from Grimsley because he enjoyed challenging authority in a variety of ways. Football kept this ADHD young man physically strong and got out a lot of his energy in the afternoons, even though he still did not want to do his homework when he came home. Anyway, let me just say my final piece here. I didn't time this correctly. Okay, I speak to you tonight as an advocate for doing everything possible to strengthen and ensure a strong future for Guilford County Public Schools. I strongly support the bond issue on the May 17th ballot to make funds available for renovation and rebuilding Guilford County schools so that they can have the technological resources and sufficient staffing to prepare our children for the future. I hope that our county commissioners will allocate as much money as required to upgrade our student facilities. We must honor our teachers, school administrators, and professional staff.
Thank you.
Okay, and I also want to say thank you to Dr. Contreras. This is the end of my speech, but
This is the hardest part of my job, staying true to the time.
I didn't have time to time this today. I gave another little speech this morning. But I just want to say thank you to Dr. Contreras.
Thank you very much.
She has done an amazing job. A creative job, an imaginative job.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I do appreciate it.
Okay.
And your children sound much more than just somewhat functioning. Lizzie Timmons McLaughlin is in the house. Dudley is represented. All right, we have 3 minutes, maybe 2.5, because you might have yielded some time to the previous speaker. Name, address, and when the orange light goes on. 15 seconds.
Got you.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education. I am the proud parent of a 5-year-old that attends Jones Elementary School. My name is Lissay Timmons McLaughlin. I am the proud principal of the great James Benson Dudley High School. And this is, Miss Benita Hargett, who is not only a Dudley alum, but also works on staff and serves as a career and college manager. And we are here this evening to speak and advocate to support the 2022 school bond. We realize how important this is in order to help our schools, all of our schools, do much better and go to the next level. In addition to the rebuilding of 18 schools, the renovation of 13 schools, and new construction of 3 schools, we appreciate and highlight the value that it will bring to our students and the community of James Benson Dudley High School. As we strive to meet the vision of GCS, transforming learning, life outcomes for all children, Dudley High School will benefit greatly from improved technology and updated security. As we discuss technology, as we continue to make sure that our students have what's best, we remember during the pandemic, we were able to successfully transition to remote learning. And then when we returned back to our classrooms and wanted to have some technology, it became apparent that the bandwidth in our building was extremely slow, limiting access and the ability to take full advantage of the resources and instruction through Canvas. Also with CTE, using the modules, various applications, and other platforms that we use online just does not allow us to do it as smoothly in our building. All students and staff have the right to expect their schools to be safe and secure. And we definitely are safe at Dudley as one of the larger high schools in the city, in the county, in Guilford County Schools, with over 1,400 students, 9 buildings, hundreds of acres of land. Upgrades to our systems are definitely needed. And with this bond, we can accomplish this. We ask, in conclusion, that not only do we say how important this bond is, I got you, but also to thank you for the opportunity to share this information with you so that you can help us support this 2022 school bond. Thank you.
Thank you
We
very
appreciate
much.
all of you.
Mr. Michael Logan, I think you're an educator. Thank you for your service. I think you know the rules. 3 minutes. Name for the record doesn't count against your time. The yellow light means something roughly like 15 seconds, evidently, when I'm running the show.
Hello, I'd like to introduce myself as Michael Logan. I live at 5202 Rambling Road. That is in Guilford County. It's in District 3, Precinct SF4. As I have to stand up, and I've watched other speakers have to come up here and stand up and speak and say where they live at, I challenge every board member and Guilford County employee that speaks to do the same. Now, with that being said, there are some things I would like to address within Guilford County schools. I've heard the statement of people need to go to the website, and we are very correct. We are voting on a $1.7 billion bond. I challenge the public to go to the website, look up the 2018 annual report, the 2019 annual report, 2020 and 2021. Let me know if you find them. We do have the data center, and the data center provides excellent information if you know how to research and do it. And it is very hard finding some of the information within the data center and being able to compile it together like we used to have in annual reports. One of the things I would like to state on there is our attendance policy. We have an attendance policy in Guilford County schools. It's time to enforce the attendance policy. It's time to make the kids come to school. Because as an educator, I cannot teach students if they are not in class. And as of right now, the attendance, chronic absenteeism, is at 34% in Guilford County schools. That's 2021, 2022. Now, the year is not over yet, so that number will continue to rise. 19 and 20, it was 9.4%, which that was pre-COVID for the most part, other than the end of the year. And we were at 9.4%. Now we are at 34.1%. Now, that's chronic absenteeism. Now, I found a little bit of humor in labeling of the chronic absenteeism, which is 10% or more absences. 10% or more. Mildly, you've missed 10% of school, and that's considered mildly, and that's actually failing by our attendance standards. Moderate and severe. Now, as I stated at a previous meeting, high school kids, our high school attendance, for this year, chronic absenteeism, 9th grade is 38.3%. Our 12th graders are at 40% chronic absenteeism. How are we supposed to prepare kids for jobs if they cannot show up to school, or we do not require them to show up to school? I'm sorry, I was going to state the state law. I would like for y'all to review the state law on attendance, and we should enforce it.
I'm sorry, you could give that to Ms. Griffith if you'd like that to be distributed to the members of the board. Thank you. And thank you again for your service as an educator.
Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to speak today. I do. Thank you.
Mary Herbenick, 3 minutes, name and address, doesn't count against your time when the yellow light goes on. You have 15 seconds. Thank you.
I don't do anything in 3 minutes. We all know that. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much to the Board of Education, Dr. Contreras, for your service.
I need your name.
My name is Mary Herbenick, and I live at 2403 Walker Avenue in Greensboro, 27403.
Thank you.
And I'm delighted to be here tonight. And thanks to all of you for your service, all of the educators in the room, and folks who are watching tonight. So I have a graduate of Guilford County Schools 2021. I'm looking at Mr. Tillman as well, who our children graduated together, and one who is a junior at Grimsley High School right now. I have been a proud parent in Guilford County Schools for 14 years. And I thought I would run down everything that's happened over those I'm not doing that. We've heard a lot of great reasons tonight to vote for the bond and for the quarter-cent sales tax, and I'm here to support that effort tonight as well. But I was thinking today, I got the chance to hold a 10-month-old and to play with a 10-month-old today named Paxton. And as I was feeding Paxton a bottle, I was thinking, what is in the future for this child? What do we want this child to have? What kind of education? What kind of resources? And I thought about the school bond and all of the conversations that we've had over 14 years about school improvements and what needs to be done to facilities, and it's time to stop kicking the can. We need to do something now, because you don't want to see me standing up here 14 years from now with my little friend Paxton, who will be a future GCS student. So I'm asking folks like me who have children exiting Guilford County Schools to vote for the bond and for the quarter-cent sales tax, for people who have benefited from this educational system, this high-quality system that we have. Yeah, there are some issues, and we need to focus on those and stop focusing on the wrong things for our children. Let's pass the bond, and let's vote for the quarter-cent sales tax. It is time. There is no more time to waste with this. And I will keep coming back as long as needed until these changes, again, the Board of Ed's eyes just went really wide with that, until we have what we need in the school system to make sure that every single child can be successful and be educated in the types of facilities that they deserve. And I thank you all for your service and for everything that you do for our students. I'll cede the last 22 seconds.
Thank you, getting us back on track. Mr. James Adams, hi, welcome. You have 3 minutes, or you can raise, to Mary's challenge, 2 minutes and 40 seconds or something. 3 minutes. If you state your name and address, that doesn't count against your time. When you see the orange-yellow light, you have 15 seconds left.
Thank you. I'm James Adams. Thank you for this opportunity to make a presentation. Madam Superintendent, Madam Chair, and the balance of this wonderful school board. The High Point branch at NAACP announces the position yes on the Guilford County school bond and fraction of a penny sales tax. Guilford County school facilities are long overdue for an overhaul. The physical environment complements the academic and learning environment to facilitate achievement and success for students. Guilford County Schools facilities have been neglected far too long due to lack of funding. We stand firm with those who want to create world-class learning for Guilford County. And we start by classroom and facilities conducive to exploring the greatness of each student. Do not be misguided. Our opponents would have us believe that fiscal management from Guilford County Schools Board is at issue, but long-term neglect and funding withheld from governing funding entities is the sole problem. The powers that be must be called out loudly, boldly, and without fear. In addition to new construction, renovations, and repairs, the bond is used for the following: making schools safer with digital locks, cameras, and other security measures, as well as modernizing classrooms and upgrading technology, expanding in-demand programs in science, technology, engineering and mathematics, and the visual and performing arts, advanced manufacturing, robotics, computer science, and other career technical education programs. Design new schools to serve multi-purpose needs such as community meeting spaces, job training centers, healthcare services. To help pay for the school bond, Guilford County voters have the opportunity to approve a fraction of a penny sales tax, excluding certain items such as groceries, prescriptions, and gas. And that spreads the cost of repaying the bond beyond property tax owners who have the intention of keeping their property taxes neutral. County officials estimate that the sales tax impact would equate to 5 pennies for every $20 spent. 5 pennies for every $20 spent.
A closing sentence.
We support this, the school bond and the sales tax, and we encourage everyone in Guilford County to do the same.
Thank
If we're looking for better, we got to do better.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Blake Odom is the next speaker. I don't see Mr. Odom. I do know. Is anybody waiting outside? No. We also have an alternate. I know I'm going to get it wrong. Sherry Pickett. She was listed as an alternate. Okay. So with that, we're going to close the public comment period. We have 30 minutes, which is allowed 10 speakers. So if you are outside the 10 and the alternate, you could submit your comments in writing to the board. Thank you very much. All right.
If you missed, you called 2 other names that didn't show up. Can she not just speak for one of them?
We don't have them listed, but if you'd like to know the process, can a member? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to move on in the meeting. I'm going to catch up to where I am here. Okay, Superintendent, you'll present the consent agenda for this evening, please. Thank you.
Madam Chair, we need to approve the agenda for tonight, please. I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Diane.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed to
Aye.
the agenda this evening? Okay, the agenda passes unanimously. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I'm ready.
All right, now you may present the consent agenda. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the board. This evening's consent agenda includes the approval of April 2022 meeting minutes, the personnel report, license contract renewals and non-renewals, the 2021-22 budget amendments and transfers, literacy professional learning for 2022-2023, elementary math professional learning for 2022-23, and a graduate assistantships partnership with the UNC Greensboro. That concludes this evening's consent agenda for your consideration.
We have a motion and a second from Kim on the consent agenda. Any questions or discussion? If not, we'll vote. Do we do that at the board, Kim? Is that you want us to start using the board? Nope.
There was some kind of Cherokee Indian.
Hold on. We have a question from, can you turn your mic on?
There was some kind of odd, had something to do with, and now I can't see it. Summer Reading Children's Day, and I may not be able to find it now. Special.
You could vote against that item.
Well, it's not to vote against it, it's just not knowing exactly what it is. Oh. Okay. Well, I can't see it on there right now. So.
All right, so if you'll cast your votes on the consent agenda. Dina, hold on one second. How do you vote on the consent agenda?
Yes on all items.
Okay. Oh, not yet. Linda, you still waiting? Yeah. Where everybody's voted. Uh, 7 to 10, the consent agenda passes. 7 to 2. Dina, you got to come back.
I will.
Listen to that voice, though. That doesn't sound promising. We don't meet again until June, right? She's got time to take all the Robitussin. Okay, at this point, I'm to deliver comments from the chair. These are comments from Dina. I'm going to do my best, Dina. On behalf of the chair, Dina Hayes Green, she offers a good evening and welcome to all who are here. Thank you to our friends at the Greensboro Grasshoppers who continued the tradition of providing tickets for second graders and sixth graders to attend special school day games this month. The sixth grade game was last Tuesday. Second graders will attend this coming Tuesday on May 17th, Election Day. We are excited to continue this wonderful tradition. It's time now to register for this year's Summer Arts Institute. Elementary and middle school camps will focus on music, art, movement, and theater. Middle and high school camps are also available for those interested in modern music production, band, orchestra, jazz, and drumline. Camps will begin June 13th and operate through July 28th. We've already heard how the music programs create moderately functioning adults this evening. For more information, you can go online to the GCSNC Fine Arts webpage. That's at www.gcsnc.com/fine arts. Click on Summer Arts Institute. You can also search for that in the search bar on the website. Additional opportunities for summer learning will be available through your child's school. So check in with your principal, counselors, and teachers if you're having difficulty, and look for the Summer Arts Institute. Rising juniors in Title I schools who will be the first in their families to attend college in the United States are invited to apply for the First Generation College Student Ambassador Program. This free program is designed to give additional support to college-bound students and provides opportunities such as college tours, college prep help, personal development, and financial aid advice. Only students who are very serious about going to college should apply. You can find the link to the application under Quick Links on the GCS website, www.gcsnc.com. Now is also the time to submit school transfer requests. The application window to apply for student reassignment is now open through July 1. Families may submit requests to attend schools outside of their attendance zone where space is available. Approvals and denials will be processed and communicated electronically through SchoolMint. Dina is also excited to have a few celebrations she would like me to share. Congratulations to Superintendent Contreras, who was recently named to Business North Carolina's Power List for 2022. I think she was the only K-12 superintendent on that list. She was praised for helping close the graduation rate gap between black and white students, for boosting academic achievement since coming to GCS. We are proud of the mark you've made and the difference you've made in the lives of our students. 2 GCS schools have received national and state awards for NEED, National Energy Education Development, for their commitment to saving energy. Reedy Fork Elementary was named the North Carolina Elementary School of the Year for the 4th year in a row. Southern High was named the North Carolina Senior School of the Year and a finalist for the National Senior School of the Year. Congratulations to these schools and their energy-wise teams, which are student-driven, for helping protect our environment. Congratulations to our Skills USA State Conference winners from Weaver Academy, Page High, and Grimsley High. 4 students from Weaver, 4 from Grimsley received gold awards, making them eligible to compete at the national level. We wish them the best of luck. And finally, please remember to vote in the upcoming primary election. Early voting ends Saturday, May 14th. Election Day is Tuesday, May 17th, 1 week from today. On Election Day, polling places will be open from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. I know on the Board of Elections website you can find where the early voting sites are, and folks can register to vote on the same day that they vote, as well as provide address updates and other things. And that concludes Dina's remarks. I will turn to the superintendent for her report.
Good evening. I want to emphasize our earlier recognition of employee appreciation during the month of May. Our employees do outstanding work under often challenging circumstances, and I know they do not often get the appreciation they so richly deserve. To celebrate one of our GCS All-Stars, we ask that you please send an email with details and a photo to goodnews@gcsnc.com. We'd love to share your comments on our website and on social media to celebrate as many of our outstanding employees as possible. I also just want to acknowledge that since 1972, National School Nurse Day has been set aside to recognize school nurses. National School Nurse Day was established to foster a better understanding of the role of school nurses in the educational setting. This year, School Nurses Day is celebrated on Wednesday, May 11th, 2022, within National Nurses Week, which occurs May 6th through 12th. The past 2 years have brought challenges to all staff, but school nurses have played many roles to ensure the safe and smooth reopening of schools. However, we take this day to emphasize the critical role of the school nurse. During this tumultuous time, school nurses have continued to ensure student physical and mental health needs have been met in the school setting. And we just heard at the last board meeting how more than 15,000 of our students had to make emergency room visits. And in the state of North Carolina, 3,600 students lost a parent during the pandemic. So our school nurses are really caring for our students in many ways. Today, students present with increasingly complex and life-threatening conditions to manage during the school day. We believe the years following the pandemic onset have emphasized the essential role of the school nurse in the role of student health and academic success. And I certainly look forward to the day when the state of North Carolina funds school nurses in every single school. We ask that you take time this National School Nurse Day on May 11th to recognize the essential school nurses in your district. Together, we will continue to work to ensure that every school child is healthy and ready to learn. And we certainly recognize our own nurse during National Nurses Week, Deborah Napper, who stepped out to take a call. So we honor you today as well, Board Member Napper, for your service. Just a reminder that May 1st was College Decision Day, and dozens of students shared videos and photos showcasing their intended destinations. I am so proud of our students whose hard work has earned them admission to prestigious institutions from GTCC to North Carolina A&T to Yale University, as well as millions of dollars in scholarships. You can find these videos on our YouTube channel. Also, 4 of the top 10 high schools in North Carolina are in GCS, according to the U.S. News and World Report's Best High Schools list for 2022. The Early College at Guilford is once again the top school in the state and number 35 in the entire nation out of thousands and thousands of high schools. The STEM Early College at North Carolina A&T is ranked number 2 in the state and number 87 in the nation. Weaver Academy ranks as number 5 in the state, and Penn Griffin School for the Arts makes the list at number 8 in the state. We also dominate the top 50 with Northwest Guilford High School, Grimsley High School, Guilford College, the Middle College at UNCG, and Northern Guilford High School. We are so proud of all of our high schools and the work they're doing. The Early College at Guilford also celebrated its 20th anniversary on Friday. The Early College was one of the first schools of its kind in North Carolina and became a model for high schools offering early entrance to colleges across the nation. GCS was recently honored for the 5th consecutive year as one of the best communities for music education in the nation. The designation is awarded to districts that demonstrate outstanding achievement in efforts to provide music access and education to all students as part of a well-rounded education. We are proud of the board's continued investment in the arts. As studies show, students who are involved in music are not only more likely to graduate high school, but more likely to attend college as well. And on a related note, I had the pleasure to attend the Superintendent's Choice Art Awards ceremony in late April, and I was truly impressed by all of the submissions from kindergarten through 12th grade. A gallery of the winners' work can be viewed through the Fine Arts section of our website. Guilford County Schools has committed $10 million of federal ESSER money to address some of our greatest HVAC needs at 25 schools across the district. We are currently finishing up projects at Vandalia Elementary, Western High, Wellborn Middle, and Smith High School. HVAC projects at 14 more schools will take place this summer, and 7 more are scheduled for this fall, including chiller replacements, cooling tower replacements, and pump replacements. In addition, GCS is using operational funds to install wireless interior cameras and a monitoring system to all GCS school buses. This much-needed upgrade will capture bus activities from multiple camera angles and allow staff to mark and review any potential situations that may arise. The contract with Safety Vision LLC includes equipment installation and training on the monitoring system. And I am so grateful for all the public speakers, but I want to remind us all that accurate information comes from the district, and we are investing ESSER funds in our HVAC systems. And a little bit later, we'll hear actual factual information about how we spend the $300 million in bond money from 2020. As we enter the most wonderful time of the year, graduation, I am excited to see so many of our plans to improve our schools coming to life. As our schools wind down the year in the coming month, summer programs available to all students will launch, and our operations teams are gearing up for these projects, as well as the groundbreakings for multiple bond construction projects. It is truly a great day to be an educator in Guilford County Schools, and I thank the board for its support and all of the community and educators who have made these things become a reality in the district. This concludes my remarks.
Thank you very much. And we are going to move into action items. We got a lot of business to do tonight, my friends, so let's go. The first item A is approval of the 2022-2023 budget request. Is there a motion? And then we could have discussion.
Move the item.
We have a
Second.
a motion and a second. Dr. Funderburk, did you get those two? Are there questions and discussions? Anita?
It seems that I've been confused about the budget for quite some time. I was under the understanding that, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, that the budget that's before us right now at the moment is the superintendent's budget recommendation. Is that wrong?
No.
When does it become our budget?
When we vote on it.
Well, thank you very much. So we were instructed to submit in writing our questions. And I did that. And one of my questions was in $5 million increments. Tell me what will not be funded if we don't receive the full amount of our request from the county commission.
Yeah, I think that was an answer provided. I saw that in writing. that we would have to prioritize what's not funded if we don't get the full funding request. So whatever we ask for, whether it's this amount or another, if we don't get funded, the Board of Ed will have to decide.
I understand that, but I asked the superintendent what her recommendation would be.
And what I saw in writing is that she would recommend the legislative impacts. I just read it.
Oh,
Where
I
is it?
read that too. But that's not $25 million.
Well, I was clear.
She just said that would be a priority as I read it.
What I asked for was in $5 million increments, what will not be funded if we don't get it all. For instance, if we get $5 million, what do we fund? If
We'll
we get,
decide.
Based on what?
It could be a new recommendation from the superintendent.
Thank you very much.
But,
That's what
she won't know at that time.
Can I finish?
Well, I'm just
please?
answering your question that you're asking.
I know she won't know till it happens. I understand that, but she has to have a plan. And I just simply want to know what that plan is, and no one will share it.
Well, I'm certainly not going to engage in hypotheticals. I'm going to submit what the board approves to the Board of County Commissioners with the expectation that they will fund it. If they don't, the board has to tell me what your priorities are.
Did y'all hear that, folks?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talk a lot on the dais about fiduciary responsibility and owning responsibility for the budget. So that will be our job if we don't get whatever we ask for. And tonight, we need to decide what to ask for.
All I asked for was what the recommendation will be. I guess there isn't a plan. Thank you.
Other questions, comments?
All right.
Yes?
I'm going to be, we're talking about budget.
You need to turn your...
Well, I'm making sure we're talking about budget.
We are talking about the budget request before us. We have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommended budget. There's a second. Now we have discussions and other matters could be considered if they're moved
No.
appropriately.
I heard we were going to get an update on the $3 million bond that is currently allocated in this budget somewhere along the line.
You made a comment a moment ago that there'd be a presentation.
Yes,
about-
because you did submit that request, and I think it's important since there was so much misinformation stated this evening about it.
Okay, so that's going to happen later, so I don't need to ask that.
No, go ahead and ask your question. This was going to happen during this discussion.
Okay, well then I'm asking how the bond, because we have it, if you look at it, it is totally allocated, all 300 million.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, this board voted in March 2021 to allocate it by project and submit that to the Board of County Commissioners, who approved the request to create the project ordinances for the entire $300 million. So those dollars have been appropriated as requested. We have spent or encumbered approximately 25 million of those dollars. We cannot move those dollars out of the project ordinances unless this board votes and the county commissioners vote to do so. So in this budget, though, school districts don't have the tool of the multi-year tool of project ordinances that we can use to create multi-year projects in our budget. So what we typically do with these dollars is we've got the 300 million included in the 21-22 budget, the current year budget. When we get to June 30th, whatever the balance of those dollars unspent are, we'll bring you a budget amendment to add those to the capital projects budget once we determine what the carryover amount is in 22-23.
And, all right, because what this looks like, I think I marked it. Yes, it just simply says capital improvement plan, CIP, and basically it says that all capital money is allocated. Is that what that represents? We don't have page numbers on these things. It's under 2022-23 budget summary analysis by fund. So it's, the actual value is 308 million. Then you move it over to the dollar change and it goes zero, or that you've had, what it looks like is you spent all 100% of it. And that, what you're telling me is allocated 100% of it. Appropriated 100.
Right.
Is that what that?
Are you in the tables?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, yes. I was trying to
It is
see what you were
all right,
looking at.
Under the tab, budget report.
Of course, right, yes.
Right, you
Mhm.
got one page.
Right.
Next page has a nice little pie chart.
Mhm.
And what it looks like is that whole 300.
Has been appropriated, absolutely, and included in our current year budget, yes.
Okay, so now you're saying we haven't spent it all. It's just
Right.
allocated.
We've spent or encumbered.
About 25 million. Okay. So where does that show up that you still have 275 million?
So for your 22-23 budget, again, because we don't have the tool to do multi-year budgeting, we are going to have to bring the balance of that back to this board, which is typically the way we do it in 22-23 as a budget amendment. But we can't do that right now because we don't know what expenditures we're going to have between now and June 30th.
So basically what I'll see next year is in 2022-23, 200 million sitting under that column. Then you're going to zero that out and say that we have
We'll carry
allocated it all.
Right.
Okay.
Or it's not when it's allocated, it's how much is unspent is what will bring you in 22-23.
Well, I guess my problem is it looks like it's all spent, and I don't see, I understand.
It's all budgeted, it's not all spent.
I got that, but where in this budget does it say, we don't know how much, well, we're saying there's 25 million spent.
Or encumbered, right.
Or encumbered, but I just don't know how to figure that out with this budget, I guess.
So what you'll see next year's, when we bring next year's
I'll
budget.
see it next year.
Or you'll see it when we bring you the audit. You'll see the expenditures when we bring you the audit.
Okay. All
And,
right.
and we're reporting those online every month. You can go to our website, go to the bond section of our website, and every month we are updating financial reports to show how much we're spending or encumbered or have under contract by project. So all that information is readily available to anybody that wants to see it. So we've got the budget by project, and then what's been spent or encumbered by project, and then what's still available by project. So that information's out there for anybody to go and see.
How many ordinances do we currently have open at the county commissioners?
I would have to go back and check that because we just closed a whole lot of them when we.
Just for this bond.
Oh, just for this bond? I think it's 9, maybe 9 or 10. I'd have, let me.
Okay.
I think it's 9 because 2 were held. Yeah, I think it's 9, but.
Okay. And those, and we haven't spent any, have we spent any money on those?
Yeah.
The
we've spent
25
our
million, so
125
there's a
million.
design one on there that allows you to.
No, we're paying the design for
A
each
little for
project
each
out
one.
of each ordinance, right?
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. Well, okay, kind of got a handle on that. 'Cause-
And project management too. I want to be sure that we're paying project management, we're paying design, and we have done some studies, some site work, some other expenditures out of each one of those, out of each appropriate project ordinance.
Okay, so, all right, I got that. And that's it, educating to me. Okay, then, all right, so I'm going to leave that one alone. Let's go to fund balance.
Sure.
How much money we got in fund balance?
So at the end of June 2021, June 30th, 2021, we had unassigned fund balance of $4.4 million. We had assigned fund balance for subsequent years of $4.5 million.
Okay, and what do we have? All right, there again, I'm looking at fund balance, and again, I'm seeing zero, in my view.
For the 22-23 budget?
Well, it's back on this same summary.
Mhm.
It says fund balance appropriated,
Mhm.
all right? Had 14.7,
Mhm.
and we've allocated it all.
Right. We budgeted it.
So I guess when you budgeted it all, there's nothing free for an emergency.
Well, but what you've budgeted is included in the audit. It's already shown as as assigned or reserved in the audit. The unassigned part, the $4.4 million, is available for emergency.
So we have 4.4 million unassigned. Okay, there's what I'm looking for.
Right, and it, yeah. I don't want to get into the details of how it shows up in the audit or how it doesn't show up in the audit, but.
What I wanted to know is what our fund balance was, because there again, when you look at this, it looks like you have no money.
Right.
Okay, I'm good.
So that's how much we had appropriated to use of our budget. If we're not appropriating it to use, you're not going to see the remaining fund balance on that document.
This isn't a change in how we've handled bond dollars in the past in terms of showing them as budgeted and then handling it with a budget transfer.
Oh, no,
correct?
no, we have
Yeah.
to do that every year that way.
And certainly I've heard comments out in the community, not here tonight, we haven't spent the $300 million. I mean, we certainly don't want to pay construction workers until the jobs are done and we really start moving dirt in earnest, as I've seen the schedules in this summer and in the fall. And I did speak with Commissioner Alston today, who said they have let out 120 million of bonds in anticipation of those construction costs beginning to come in earnest as we start moving dirt. And so people will see this in a different way. I mean, people talk, we don't need more money until we've spent what we've got, but we're not going to pay people till the work's done. And we want to be keeping rolling forward and moving forward, which is a standard practice, I think. Okay, that's helpful for me. I know we've got questions. Dr. Contreras had a
I just wanted to make sure we clarified. So, as Board Member McGregor said, the money can't be spent. We can't write checks before the work is done, right? Nothing has changed in that regard.
Correct.
Okay, so the reason there's money left in this fund is because the construction starts this summer.
Right, yes, and it's more than a year. The projects take more than a year, so we're gonna have that carryover, yes.
And then a comment that I heard tonight and I continue to hear is we didn't do HVAC projects with this money. Can you explain again the project ordinances?
Certainly. So when the voters approved the $300 million in bonds, this board asked that those $300 million be spent on the projects in the facility master plan and the priority that we had them in the master plan. So those dollars can only be spent on those schools for those projects once this board and the county commissioners approve those. We cannot pull those dollars out to use for any other purpose than to construct those schools unless this board takes action and the county commissioners take action. So the only way we could use any part of this $300 million would be to pull it out of a school, a current project, which would take the money out and we wouldn't be able to complete that project and move it. And that's the only way that could happen. And I don't know that would be on the priority list.
But we do have, is it 25 HVAC projects underway? How many did you?
Ms. Reed said that we do have 25 HVAC projects underway.
In ESSER funds. So it's just not accurate that we're not repairing HVAC systems. The other thing I think I heard stated was that we use bond funds to make this room accessible to the deaf and hard of hearing and visually impaired, and to make sure board meetings were accessible during the pandemic. Did we use any bond dollars for this room?
No, we did not.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Tillman?
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of follow up on the timing of things. I think, folks in the public that I talk to, in the grocery store or on my street, because, they don't see the earth moving, they do have questions, and I think we're noodling through that. So given I know we had a rough timeline, let's say by end of June, the commissioners approve what they approve. And just take Kaiser, for example. I think that work is supposed to start in earnest in August or September. And then we also hear, if you look at the economy and around the globe, I mean, material costs and all these things that are in some degree out of our control. But then when we talk about a project that was sort of earmarked and the contractors and those bidding, had our numbers, let's say 55 million, for example, I think for Kaiser, and then we hear that it could be 2 or 3 times as much, then, so 2 things there. One, what is our recourse with these contractors to ensure that they meet what we've outlined? And then secondarily, how does, in terms of how we fund future projects and how we continue moving forward, when we may have this, and I guess part of this question is getting some real data from folks that are architects or whomever that say it may be 2 or 3 times as much. Maybe talk through that a little bit.
So I don't know that I can talk through that with the expertise that maybe somebody else could help me with. I do know that when we're talking about costing out, I mean, we've got to get through schematic design to be able to get budgets in place, and we're very close to that at this point for the projects that we have currently that we're currently working on. I also think it's important to remember when you talk about seeing dirt move, we're building on site on a significant on the majority of these projects, and so we have students in buildings on these places now, in these on these sites now. So moving dirt while students are on site right now, we're just not set up and it's not ready to do that. So I mean, we're still in schematic design, so we're not ready to do that anyway. But I just think it's important that we think about that as we think about the projects that we're working on. When we get out of schematic design and if there are cost increases or costs are above what we anticipated, we can certainly go into what do you call the cost savings thing, where you try to value engineering, if we want to do some of that, or we can look at rearranging budgets. That'll be something this board would have to do when we get to that point.
I would just be interested, I mean, let's just say hypothetically that a school, and I know one was built in Charlotte recently, a high school for about $125 million. So I think the cost of building schools, especially when you're building them for future generations, and so that the curriculum and the programming and all the things that we want, and to have innovation as a part of it, I mean, I understand that there's a cost there, I mean, and there's a value there too. But if we get into that situation, I mean, I've always wondered, what is our recourse with contractors? I mean, would we be able to see, okay, here are the costs and why they're maybe 2 or 3 times as much?
Do you mean the current contracts we have?
Right,
So
yeah,
we
based
have-
on what we have now.
You may recall we have construction management contracts, so they can't go over the cost. But we do know, without having completed the design phase, that the cost we associated with the buildings will likely be different just because of the increases. So the construction managers will come to agreement on what the cost is. If it's more than what we anticipated, we have to take the project ordinance back to the Board of County Commissioners to ask them to reallocate, to fund it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Change order. It's a change order, right?
No, not a change order.
It's not technically a change
Project
order.
order.
It would be a revision or an amendment to the project ordinance.
But once we decide, once we have that funding, then the construction managers will tell us how much it costs to build the building, and they can't go outside of that contract in that model.
Yeah.
So there are some assurances then, I mean.
Yeah, that's why we choose to use the construction management at risk as a delivery model, because there is a guaranteed maximum price, and they cannot exceed that.
Yeah.
That's why it's called construction manager at risk, because you set the ceiling when you bid the contract.
Thank you. I know we talked about this at length at the work session, but I think you might have been on military
wasn't
duty
in.
at the time you were doing your service. Ms. Sharp?
Yeah, along this line, then I have a question jumping back to close to where Linda was. When do we expect the first project to go for bids?
I don't know that I have the answer to that. You want to come up and answer?
We are anticipating bids to start in the fall, September, when our CDs are finished. So that's when we'll have our bids going out. Our GMPs, which is our guaranteed maximum price, will actually be coming back around November, December.
So when will we turn dirt?
We have early bid packages that we will be doing for the summer. So it'll be around August, September that we'll be able to turn dirt for specific pieces that will allow us to enable or accelerate some of the construction early.
So we can expect to see some dirt moved during the summer?
Yes, August, September.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Back to Linda's question, I could find the $14 million in appropriated fund balance. I can't find the unappropriated.
That's in our audit. It wouldn't be in our budget documents because we're not proposing to use it for the budget. So it's in our audit.
You don't show it as in a fund somewhere? Okay.
We don't show balance sheet items in the budget.
No wonder I couldn't find it. It's not in there.
I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, Ms. Henry, but I think it's important for people to understand the journey of the bond, is that you vote on it and either approve, but then it doesn't hit the pockets of the voters or of the citizens immediately. I heard you make a reference about Guilford County commissioners letting the bond. I think people need to understand that the 1.7 billion that's on the ballot now, that even if it's approved, that taxpayers won't start paying, because that's a loan, that's what they're giving the approval for, won't start paying that, could be for 10, 15 years, depending on how much time they have before they allow that. I don't know that people understand that. You do understand the question I'm asking?
Certainly. So when voters approve a bond, that does not necessarily mean the county is going to issue those bonds immediately. They, for school bonds, they ask us for cash flow projections so they can kind of try to time out when they're going to need the cash. They have some other tools that are available to them to be able to come up with cash for short term if they need to before they issue bonds. So if we're we were spending $25 million, they may want to do some kind of use some kind of short term vehicle to come up with that $25 million and then sell the bonds like Mr. McGregor just said. They just did the $120 million, the first tranche of the $120 million, and that should fund our cash flow for a period of time. I think they have 10 years to issue them all, so I don't think they can wait 15 to issue them. But we're not going to say that. So then payback doesn't start clearly until after they issue them. So we don't have to start servicing that debt until they issue the debt. And so for the $300 million, like we said, they just issued the $120 million. So in next year's budget, they're going to have start having debt service on a portion of that. And then when they issue the next $180 million of the $300 million, they won't have to start servicing the debt until they do that. I would expect probably in the next 3 to 4 years.
All right. Then this question, do our buildings depreciate?
Yes, in the real sense of the word, yes. If you're asking me for accounting depreciation, that's kind of funny in governmental units, but yes. It's
right. My point is simply that, those of us who've been fortunate enough to buy a car, we know that once we, crank it and take it off the lot, depreciation starts. If the longer we take to decide on these bonds. Even the new products that are gonna come out by 2024, 25, their depreciation will start, which means that we're gonna always be behind as far as moving into the 21st century. And so the longer it takes us to decide to pay for new schools, even the new schools that are new today, in 10 years are not going to be new. So my point is simply that we need to move ahead with trying to figure out how, because I heard you say that you got 25 HVAC, but those are being put in old schools, are they not?
Yes.
Okay, so basically what we're doing is putting Band-Aids over old schools that we still are going to need to replace sooner than later.
Yeah, and just one more point of clarity on that. When we say we have 25 HVAC projects, we're not replacing a complete HVAC system in any building, because that's a $5 to $7 million expense. This is replacing or updating a component of each of the HVAC system. So it's important to note that we may replace one component of it today, and in 3 months another piece of it breaks, and we've got to go back and deal with the same system.
Right. So I think what parents who get upset when the temperature goes up and want to know why isn't there air conditioning in their schools, or like I don't want to pick on Swan, but y'all are really trying to take glue and bubble gum to put together, to keep sticking together. Let me put it this way: the problem that you have with Swan's system now is the problem that you had 5 years ago whenever we named it Swan. And so, you did a Band-Aid fix at that time, but here it is 5 years later, and you're having the exact same problem of the system switching on and off. That was a guy had to stand there during the celebration for the Swan and hold his finger on the thing to keep the air conditioning going during that celebration. We can't keep doing that. And plus, I think the guy whose thumb we used, he's gone now. So we need to understand, that we're taking too long to make these decisions to go ahead and move these projects ahead. Thank you.
Betty.
Motion to move the item.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to accept the recommendation. A second. Do we vote on the moving the item, or we just vote on the item? Okay, great. All right, let's vote. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to focus. If you'll use your consoles to vote. We'll see if I can count or read. Just like, don't count, just read. Oh, Dina, how do you vote?
Yes. Thank you, Anita.
The recommendation for the budget request to the commissioners passes by a vote of 7-2 and will be delivered to the commissioners in time for their consideration. We now move to item B, which is approval of a 2022-2023 Board of Education meeting schedule. A copy of which was in the materials.
Madam, can we move the A proposal?
So there's a motion to adopt proposal A. Is there a second? Anita, do you have something? Your light's on. I can't tell if you're...
Yeah. I'm waiting for a second so I can discuss.
Oh, we don't have a second for proposal A. I'll second the motion to adopt proposal A. I'll only be here half the year, quarter of the year.
Me either, and that's exactly what I was going to say. I think it's presumptuous of us, considering that we're going to have a board change, we're going to have a superintendent change, and we're dictating to a future board when they have to meet. Yes, I know they can amend it, but it would be just as easy if we just stop December 1st and let them pick up there.
Well, I think the public deserves to have a schedule before
That's
them.
long enough.
And it can be amended. So, or is that a substitute motion?
Yeah, I'll make that a substitute motion. That I don't care which calendar, but we stop 1st of December.
Well, that's not really a substitute then if we don't pick one.
You can't stop the 1st of December because you haven't sworn in no board members by then.
The first meeting in December.
You have to swear, you mean January 1, I suspect, because until then you won't have board members who
Well,
can
on
approve.
both of these calendars, the first meeting in December is not until the 13th.
But that
Why?
follows the statute that is acceptable, and you won't have board members who can vote for a calendar until they are sworn in, which is at your first business meeting, which is your only meeting in December. So you would make it effective January 1 when they are sworn in and able to make a calendar.
Okay, that's fine, but you just brought up the other issue that I have, and that's why are we so late in December?
It's your traditional second Tuesday.
Just
Okay.
the second Tuesday is later.
Then
So
change that to January 1st.
for
I just
proposal
have
A or B?
I don't care.
Okay, so now we have a motion to pass proposal A through January 1, and there's a second on that, so we would need to vote on that
This will
proposal.
hold up all of the school schedules. So
Why?
they schedule all school events around the board calendar. And the board is voting on a new superintendent for the next board, so I think a calendar is much less significant.
So we have a comment on the new motion, Deborah?
And I will say that, you know, when you accept these positions, you come into it with the understanding. I mean, they will have this calendar as soon as it's published. They'll know when the meeting dates are as soon as we do. And when, I won't speak for Betty, but when I accepted these positions, I knew when I swore myself in that this was what was coming at me.
Well, and we're not adopting half a budget. So,
Thank you.
so, okay, we do have a substitute motion that we only schedule through January 1 in proposal A. We can vote on that motion. Pat did, Mr. Tillman.
Change that, I hit the wrong button.
But we
We-
can
we're gonna
modify
clear-
it, right?
Yes,
I
of
didn't
course.
vote on my own
Are you going to
motion.
clear the board or just,
Just mine.
she's clearing the board to start over, I think.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Right. But she's resetting. Dina?
Oh, I pushed the wrong thing.
No.
So that fails by a vote of 7-2. So then we did have an initial motion from Diane Bellamy Small for proposal A. Do we have a second to the original motion? Ms. Napper has seconded the motion, and we can now vote on proposal A. Dina? Jeez,
Yes.
I'm going to need some caffeine. And that passes by a vote of 8-1. All right, now we're going to move into action item C, the superintendent search firm selection. Board members received a packet of materials, were requested to rank those. Thank you to everyone who returned. I think everyone did. Attorney Wilson tabulated our rankings and I think has something to share and perhaps a little bit of advice for us before we open up for discussion about how we would like to proceed with interviews and which firms we would like to interview to support us in our most important responsibility in searching for a new superintendent. Thank you. Oh, give one to Linda. Oh,
Board members, just to refresh for the public and for anybody who doesn't remember our details, we talked last meeting about the fact that we had a request for qualifications that was put out to the general search world in various outlets, and we received 8 responses. The 8 search firms that have responded to us were then, we asked for particular materials and a copy for each of you. We have delivered to each of you a copy of those materials for the 8 search firms who expressed an interest. You have ranked your 8 search firms based on their materials, and I have done a tabulation, as you can see, based on your responses. And what you'll see is that there were, depending on where you do the cutoff, 3 or 4 firms that seem to be supported by the majority of you. And what I think is really interesting, if you look at them, is the top 3 vote getters are very different search firms, and I think it really will be an interesting process for you to interview those firms. That's what I would recommend you do. What you'll see is the School Board Association, which has deep roots in the state of North Carolina, was one of the top firms. There was a firm, Hazard Young, which is a national firm. We used Hazard Young when we brought Terry Greer to Guilford County, and Anita was in that process and has worked with them. They're a very nationally oriented search firm. And then your third search firm that was favored by a number of you is a firm, Summit, that's based out of Asheville. And while they have some experience in K-12, it's mostly in private schools or other schools, and they have extensive experience in the college and university world. So it's really interesting because they're 3 very different firms that there might be things about any one of them that appeal to you. And I think it'll be an interesting process to go through. There is a 4th firm, if you wanted to go as deep as 4 to interview, that the McPherson firm that also received over 40 points when we did the tally. They're another national search firm. So if you wanted to add them, you could. I leave it up to you about where you think the clear demarcation is. If you limited it to the top 3 vote getters, they also represent every one of your first choices. So if you just had the top 3 vote getters, everybody would be interviewing their first choice at some point. So it seems like a pretty fair way to go about it and let you guys decide. We would, because of COVID and because of distance and expense, I think it would be logical to do that by Zoom, to set a day to interview 3 or 4 firms and to do that by Zoom. And we can work together to find a date.
Yeah.
So it's really your process, not mine, but it seems like you guys have worked through this first step relatively painlessly, seems to me. And I welcome your ideas.
So the only thing I'll add is I think we've discussed the interview process that Jill talked about, a day where we would Zoom interviews. Board members can volunteer to participate. We could talk today, though. There's options about whether we want to appoint a committee or have all board members be eligible to participate in those. I think if that were the case, you'd want to. We might want to consider saying you got to participate in all of them because it would be difficult to participate in only some. Although with Zoom, we can record interviews as well, which would also allow board members to review every interview if they can't participate. Jill, I asked her how the process has typically worked. We would typically establish a set of questions that we would ask every firm, so interviews are consistent like you would with typical personnel processes. We could certainly have suggested questions from board members or have time at the end that if we have extra time in the allotted time, there could be some other questions added. But typically it works better if we ask the same questions of every firm and have some consistency, knowing there could be dialogue and follow-up when you're in conversation.
And we don't have to do this, but we typically give each of you a question to ask so you can feel like you develop a little rapport with each of the groups.
So with that, I would open the floor for comments, discussions, or any motions regarding the process. Diane.
Is it necessary for us to actually interview the 3, or since, you do have the firm that is the number 1, that we not just go ahead and hire them, since all of us had a chance to look at the same material? I mean, in the as you know, because we're on a short leash as far as time. I think that was a question for.
I mean, there's certainly an option. Anybody can make a motion to do anything, and we see what passes. So my preference is that we interview, so I wouldn't support just hiring the top firm without some interviews, but others might.
Okay.
Betty?
Yes, and looking at the list, my recommendation also would be to interview all of them because of the fact of the three, it was somebody's first choice, but not saying the first one that's listed is everybody's first choice. So I think in all fairness, we need to interview all of them.
All three or all eight?
All three.
Oh, the top three?
Yes.
Okay. Anita?
I make a motion that we interview the top 3 firms by way of Zoom, and then it's a full board participation.
I'll second that. The second. Any other question or discussion specifically before we vote? All right, let's vote.
And while you're voting, I'll read into the record who the top 3 are, just in case anyone.
Thank you. And I did send Dina a picture of this, Dina, on your phone, so you could see the rankings that Jill distributed.
All right, and so the top 3 firms are the North Carolina School Board Association, Summit, and Hazard Young.
Oh, everybody's voted. Dina, I haven't voted. Dina?
Yes.
And that passes by a vote of 8-1.
And thank you all for cooperating and being timely. That was a lovely process so far. Let's hope it keeps going so well.
All right. I'll let people go to the bathroom as they need to. Let's keep going. It's our favorite vote of the month, folks. Universal face covering mask requirement. The state legislature requires us to vote each month on what our policy is regarding face coverings. This has gotten a little bit less controversial, but I don't know. The superintendent has a recommendation that the board you want me to say it or you want to? That we continue our mask optional policy for individuals while inside school buildings and in various other school-related settings. The administration recommends the board continues this policy. Oh, it's just typed twice. Sorry. It's the same thing. Moved by Board Member Sharp. Is there a second to the motion on mask optional? Betty Jenkins second to the motion, so we can vote. Everybody's voting. Mask optional, continuation of the current mask optional policy. Dina? Oh.
Yes.
Yes, there she is. Okay. And that passes by a vote of 8-1. We are now on to something that I think matters a lot. Math teacher recruitment and retention. Given that we know learning loss for math was more significant than reading loss, and we have work to do on this. So
Move the item.
I think we want to state what the recommendation is so that that's part of the record and others hear it. Is that coming from the superintendent or Dr.
Yes,
Oakley?
hold on one moment.
Okay.
I'm trying to find
I know, I'm
that.
moving fast.
Thank you. I recommend that the board approve the Math Teachers of Tomorrow, MT2 program, contract with UNC Greensboro with the option to renew for 1 year. The funding source will be ESSER funds intended to recruit, retain, and reward teachers. The board already approved this in the ESSER budget. However, we have a partner now that will help us place teachers teacher candidates into low-performing schools with a master teacher so that we have 2 teachers in each room. And it is a contract. Well, I'll let Dr. Oakley go into depth. It's actually going to be managed through Dr. Oakley and, Dr. Oakley's staff and Shirley Morrison, who negotiated this for us.
Yes, just briefly, you'll remember one of the chunks that's required in the ESSER is recruiting, retaining highly effective staff. Right now, we have 14 secondary math vacancies. We have 24 secondary math teachers who are eligible to retire. We know that learning loss was the greatest in math, and so we have really targeted efforts there. This had to be bid, just like any other project that we have within our ESSER plan. But it includes an internship, residency support, professional development, tuition and fees, and then they sign to agree to stay with us for 3 years following. So I think it's a win-win, and UNCG has been a great partner so far. We have slots for up to 42.
A second.
So we have a motion and a second, and Dana, do you have a question as well?
How are you able, or will any of these funds be able to help you enhance technology? Because as far as, I don't know what technology tools could be used. I realize that, you got to have human beings, but even having like a teacher in one location but remotely teaching, does this facilitate, or is there a way to do that also? Do you understand my question?
There's definitely professional learning dollars in this that could help. There's not dollars specifically like for a swivel camera where you would video in that expert teacher, but we do have those in other pots, right? So we do have those there. But the most important thing here is that not only do these teachers learn our curriculum and work up under our most highly effective teachers and get their tuition costs covered, but then they sign to agree to come back with us, and we can teach them to use the technology that we have now because of the board investments in our classroom. So we have the swivel cameras. We have the one-to-one devices. We have the digital curriculum resources. So that would all be a part of that experience.
That's what I'm asking about, is that how we are integrating the technology to support your human being that you're trying to spread, over a large, number of classrooms. Okay, thank you.
Any others?
I just want to say I appreciate the capacity that we have in our local universities, A&T with tutoring, UNCG with this math expertise, and I know that we're just fortunate. Some rural communities don't have all of that capacity right in their backyards. So I think we have a motion and a second, so we can vote. Dina? Thank you.
Yes.
That passes by a vote of 9-0. All right. Things starting to get real with schools. We've got a relocation plan for Faust, one of the initial $300 million projects, the first gaming elementary school in the country. Gaming elementary school. I'm sorry, that is correct. I misspoke. Michelle Reed, our COO, has an update or a proposal for us to consider.
Yes, and before she begins, I just want to provide some context. This has been extraordinarily difficult to find spaces that are close to the school, and we have to also consider the population at each school, how much transportation that population has in terms of being able to get to other buildings, whether or not we can keep schools together as much as possible. So this evening, we have a recommendation to place the students at Murphy and at Jackson. And Jackson, for those who are unfamiliar with the building, has several separate buildings making up one school. So we are able to place students in one building by themselves, but there would be some sharing of some of the joint spaces like cafeterias, gymnasiums, etc. But our major goal was to make sure that we could keep the students together, and Murphy and Jackson share the same campus, and also to make sure that we were not causing an inconvenience to parents by having to send them to two schools outside of their attendance zone. So this isn't the ideal situation, but I want to remind us all that we won't always, during this massive construction, facilities master plan, especially once the bond passes, be able to always keep the schools together or resolve this in this way. There's going to be difficult decisions to be made until each school is built or renovated. But we will walk you through the alternative space so that you're comfortable with it and can ask any questions that you might have. So, Ms. Reed, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Contreras, and thank you, Board. So as you can see, we are highlighting the future Faust Elementary Robotics and Gaming School. This is, I believe, the first elementary that is focused around gaming and robotics in the country, which is an amazing feat for Guilford County to bring to bear. This design is the schematic design that you saw previously a few months ago. We have evolved it and are continuing to work on the design currently with our construction managers and our design team for Faust. But as Dr. Contreras alluded, we are here to talk about our alternative space during construction. We are moving forward with construction rapidly with our early bid packages or early packages for site work to come in and to start moving dirt, as you will, in August and September of this year. So we are really excited to do that. But in order for us to do that, because we are building on the existing site, we have to relocate the building. And so the proposed agenda here is we're going to just talk a little bit about alternative space during construction. We're going to talk about the proposed relocation plan, additional considerations that we have, and then also next steps. So as I alluded, this is one of the 8 schools that we have under construction in our $300 million bond program that passed unanimously in our 2020 bond. Early site work, site constraints, and demolition for Faust requires that we relocate them temporarily. We do take into considerations things like school identity, students staying together to the fullest extent possible, and also travel distance, considering we want to make sure that we are not impacting both the parents but also the students and the population. So the proposed relocation is that Faust Elementary Exceptional Children in Adaptive Curriculum, pre-K and kindergarten, would relocate to Murphy Traditional Elementary. Also, Faust Elementary, 1st through 5th grade, would relocate to a separate building, which is the 400 building, on its own on the shared campus of Jackson Middle School, which is also adjacent to the current Murphy Traditional School. The adjacencies allow us to really capitalize on some of the administrative space that we'll need between the two schools, and also maximize the elementary school as its own entity on the Jackson Middle School campus. So we've looked at the pros and cons. We looked at the scope of work. We highlighted here where we're going to utilize about 4 classrooms within Murphy Traditional to house the ECAC, pre-K and K. We are also going to utilize the full building of the 400 building, which is its own 1-story building on the backside of the Jackson Middle School. It has about 13 classrooms, which we will use to house the 1st through 5th grade, as well as utilizing spaces within the Murphy Traditional School to house Faust Elementary administrative staff. To bridge the gap between the current Murphy and the building 400, the adjacencies are so close, but we also want to capitalize on the shared parking and also roundabout. So we're going to install a sidewalk that actually abuts the roundabout, which I'll show you in a second, to make sure that we can enter and exit the elementary students in a different way off of the elementary parking lot. This really helps to keep the traffic down, making sure that Faust students are remaining Faust students, and also allow for a bus roundabout turnaround for elementary school to remain consistent. We're also going to do some modifications to the 400 building to make it more accessible and lively for elementary use. So we are doing those investments through the project. The advantages, as I alluded, are the available in building and on the site. So the students would not be in modular units in most cases in this case scenario. Murphy Traditional Elementary and Jackson Middle are adjacent and shared campuses, so they would be sharing a playground, which they do today. That playground actually allows for us to maximize the use for the campus, as well as for the Faust and Murphy and Jackson Middle students. We are also looking at the feeder pattern, as Dr. Contreras alluded, and so Murphy Traditional and Jackson Middle are in the same feeder pattern. Some of the other alternatives that we looked at did not allow that for the student population, so we really took that into account. And then it also starts to shift the Faust Elementary School to a regional magnet, which is the ultimate goal.
And I'll just add real quick, the ECAC is the adapted curriculum, EC classroom, that's self-contained, that's currently at Faust. So that those students stay intact and go together to a room at Murphy.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Absolutely.
I assume these upgrades would allow us to use the same space for other swing space for future construction projects.
Yes.
So the investment's not.
That's
a one-time.
exactly right. This building actually allows us to do a lot of good things for us from a swing space perspective.
Until Jackson is renovated.
Yes.
Right.
Please keep in mind.
Yes,
said
it's all a
renovation.
all right. So questions for Ms. Reed? Yes, Diane.
I thought you had more to tell us. Okay.
Well, I do, but it's okay.
Huh?
I can take questions.
Oh, are you through?
No.
I'll wait
but-
till you finish.
No, it's okay. I paused. It's okay. I can keep going.
Okay, go ahead, and
All
then
right.
we'll do. I'm
Wonderful.
sorry.
Thank you. So this is similar to the previous space study that we looked at. So we did look at our current enrollment for what we project to be 22-23 enrollment for both Murphy Traditional as well as Faust. We identified the specific populations of students that we're planning for in that building. So our current capacity at Murphy Traditional Academy is actually 480 for the full building. We are projecting with both Murphy Traditional and the Faust students that we're looking at relocating to only have about 355 students. So we're still going to be under our capacity threshold for that building from an occupancy perspective. Separately, we also looked at the space needs, so the types of classrooms based upon those built capacities. And so we looked at both Murphy Traditional and the needs that Faust would bring with them. And at that point, we would, once the classrooms are occupied, we will still have an additional 5 classrooms that would be within our built capacity. So we are under capacity for this plan for Murphy. Again, as we alluded, we would be looking at this school to be a pre-K and K with the rising kindergarten students enrolling as Murphy Traditional students in the fall of 22-23. For the Jackson Middle Faust area for the 400 wing, we are looking at 13 classrooms, similar capacity. So the built capacity actually at Jackson Middle is about 1,032 students, 1,032. With both Jackson Middle students that's projected for next year, it looks like we're projecting about 396 for next year. And the student population 1st through 5th grade for Faust, we're projecting about 237. So in total, we will only be occupying about 633 students in the building that's built for 1,000. So we're still in a good standing from a capacity perspective. And that one building will allow for, like you said, additional future swing space, but also renovation space. But we're really able to capitalize on what we can do today with that building. So, let me just go back. So the current Faust is about 2 miles from Jackson Middle. Obviously, it's adjacent to Murphy, which I'll show you in a minute. So it's 2 miles from both schools, which is a great benefit, and it's another feeder pattern. So we would actually have buses going there anyway, because Jackson Middle is the next step for this population of student. So this is just a quick overview of the what I was talking about, the roundabout and the elementary school location and the building. So I'm going to just point with, if I can get my cursor, no. And it's behind you, but it's not very, yeah. So you'll see Jackson 400 building. That is the building that we're looking at upfitting. It's the single-story building. the parents and students currently situate themselves in that roundabout. We are looking at creating a door adjacent to the roundabout and the sidewalk. That would be the entrance for both buses as well as students and parents. That also serves the elementary Murphy as well. So this is really helping you to orient yourself and see that we will be taking advantage of administrative spaces as well as Murphy and the 400 building, and really situating the elementary students actually around what you probably can't see is a playground in between. So that sidewalk is really going to bridge the gap between the two schools. So finally, additional considerations that we will be taking into account, and we've already been working with the three principals as well as other staff within all three schools, is a staggered bell schedule potentially, all the specials that the students would need to absorb in their current schedule, transportation. Obviously, we are preparing for what that would look like for next year. Classroom locations within the schools, our SSOs are working diligently with the principals to identify those locations. And then school packing schedule, we have been working with the Faust principal since March on packing and purging and things like that, because we want to make sure that we are able to exit the Faust building by the summer and start the school year fresh in the new school. And then any tours for the families for the start of 22-23. So as I alluded, early site work for Faust, we will begin the current site. It'll start basically in the end of June, but we won't actually start breaking ground until August, September, until those students are out. Faust Elementary, ECAC, pre-K and K students will go in 22-23, and first grade through fifth grade for Faust will go in 22-23 to Jackson. And the new gaming and robotics for Faust Regional Choice Magnet will open in fall of 24-25 school year. So I just want to always end with the end in mind, which is why we are doing this, which is the beautiful building that we are going to have for the gaming and robotics students at elementary school that is none other in the country, quite frankly. So I think we really want to make sure that we're making a positive effort towards the community and what this is going to be do for the Faust area. So with that, I will take any questions.
Anita?
Well, Diane was first before. So okay, I don't care.
Anita, then Diane, then Deborah.
Doesn't matter to me. Did I hear you say that you were going to queue both the cars and the buses in?
So we have queuing already in that
circle.
So there is a way that we actually enter the circle for buses, and the cars actually fill in. They're not really visitor parking. They're more so staff parking, quite frankly, for Murphy. That's who's using it today. So we're going to figure out how we can actually make sure that we're queuing parents through there too during that time.
Okay.
Diane?
Haven't you put signs, pretty signs, up at every location where we are going to be building?
We have. We have construction bonds.
Okay, but because when people are saying, we don't see anything, either they're blind or they're not looking. But I just, because one of the things that I do want to know is, have you had any engagement with the community around Faust?
Absolutely. So we actually had a few engagement meetings with the community around Faust. Part of our design process is to engage the community and make sure that they are having their voices heard. And actually during construction, we plan to make sure that every single community member has a location to come and talk to our site superintendent, talk to anyone on site to make sure that if there's any impacts that they have for construction, that they can actually address them real time.
Very good.
And the principal also met with families last night, the Faust families, and shared the plan, and they were most grateful to be together. Okay. I think that was their biggest concern, so they were at ease. Just letting them know that the board was going to be discussing it tonight.
Mm-hmm. Do we have an ACES at Faust? Okay. And then just a suggestion. The intersection of where Jackson comes together. What is that? Hardy and
Terrion.
Okay. Can you see if the city of Greensboro will put you a stoplight there? It's a four-way stop now. But I'm just, concerned that with the increase in traffic.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, as Dr. Ogle, we can ask.
Okay, I mean, because with the increase of traffic, I just think that people will get impatient with four-way stop at that location, and they're real stingy about stoplights. But maybe if we put the ask in and we're able to say what the increase in traffic will be for the school, because your through street, which is Florida Street, on that end is really your highest traffic street, except for Van Story that comes around on the lower side, coming from Murphy.
Yes.
But I just think that that's a important ask for the community, so that we hopefully mitigate any wrecks or the fact that there may be kids also crossing that intersection trying to get to the schools.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can definitely inquire with the city DOT.
Okay, thank you.
Deborah?
One comment that has come across to me a couple of times is, why do we need to do this? Why do we need all this stuff? Why does it need to be this? And quite frankly, the first time that I heard that comment made, I was surprised. And on some more of a commentary than a question. Looking at these schools and the mock-ups that we have, the architectural draft and design, first up, why wouldn't you want to do the very best that you can? You're sitting here telling me that this is a literal breakthrough countrywide to set up a robotics technology basics for elementary school children that they can carry all the way up. Anybody else see UNCG's new esports arena open? This is not going away. This is a step towards the future, and our universities are already investing in it, so we need to too. They're showing us where we need to be aiming. Our kids can go from kindergarten all the way through, right now I know it's up to master's level. We might be looking at a doctorate in these style programs, so why would we not want to do this? The next thing is, and I will bang this drum till the day I leave this seat, our students are not the only people in the building. Our teachers, our support staff, all of our classified, they deserve these spaces. They have worked in these broken down, beat up, ratchet schools for how long now? Look at what we can give them. Take a look. Thank you for your work on this.
Absolutely, thank you.
Are there questions or a motion to move the item?
Move the item.
Is there a second?
Second.
Kim, Ms. Irby seconded it, so we can vote. Dina?
Yes. Did you hear me?
I can, bless. This passes by a vote of 9-0. Okay, we now move to committee reports. Chairwoman Jenkins, Policy Committee Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. At its meeting on April 28th, the Policy Committee voted to send 2 policy recommendations out for a 30-day public comment period. First, the committee recommends that the board work with the North Carolina Board Association to recode the policies that remain in our old policy manual into the new NCSBA coding system. This change will not modify any of these policies, but it will make it easier for our staff and stakeholders to find the policies they need. Second, we would like the public input on the revised policy, and that policy is policy number 3625-9305, which is the school mascot and symbols. As a reminder, these policy recommendations will come back to the board for discussion at our June meeting after the public has this chance to give its input.
So as a clarification, it looks to me like there's 2 items. One is directing the superintendent to move forward with the coding, and the second is informing us about the 30-day period for the mascot policy?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion? Or just,
Yeah, I think, I'm sorry, this should have been an action item to say move forward with recoding. I apologize.
Can I make that motion?
You can.
Can we please make a motion to move forward with the instructions to recode according to the North Carolina State Board of Education?
A second.
are there any questions?
Oh, Diane, we may want to wait for Diane to come back. She has to come back.
So are there questions? All right, we can move forward and vote. We got a quorum. Oh, Dina?
Yes.
Are you gonna vote?
Oh, sorry.
Did Diane go to the bathroom or stepped out? All right. So we closed the vote. And it passes by a vote of 8-0 with one not voting. All right. Whoops, let me get back to the agenda. It looks, I don't think we require any additional closed session, or do we? Is there additional closed session? We do not, so we can move to closing comments. I'm going to popcorn around a little bit. Anita, are you ready? I'm sorry. You want somebody else to go first?
No, I don't care. It doesn't matter. First of all, congratulations, Dr. Oakley. Look forward to working with you further. One of the things that has bothered me of late about the school board our meetings, and I have to bring this up, is our policy on speakers. We had 9 speakers tonight. We had room for a 10th. There were 2 people back there that wanted to speak, and we wouldn't let them. That's getting old, and that's getting embarrassing. So I think we need to think about sticking to the 10 speakers somehow, however that is. And then my only other comment is on the budget, and I want to say to the administration, all you had to do was answer my questions.
Deborah.
Congratulations, Dr. Oakley. Girl, you're a glutton for punishment. All right, first up, congratulations to the Northern Guilford Middle School Nighthawk girls track and field team, who are undefeated and closed out the season this year. That's my Nighthawks, gotta love them. Thank you for the recognition for Nurses Week. Very much appreciated. Hats off to school nurses. They're probably the only ones who can rival ER for sheer battle of bodily fluids. It gets interesting. I would like to, though, make a mention of Nurses Week, or Teachers Week, that immediately precedes ours. Nurses are lucky because our profession is also under fire and also struggling, however, we get paid. We get benefits. We have a solid structure, and we are fortunate in our jobs to have just a lot more options as far as things to do, places to go, and support systems in place that teachers don't have. So while I will take the thank you for Nurses Week with I would not do anything else, I would also like to commend our teachers one more time and just share how much I've learned about the parallels between teaching and nursing since I've come to this chair. And hopefully one day we'll share Celebration Week again. In the meantime, thank you for all you do.
Betty.
Thank you. Like I said, thank you to Rankin Elementary School for your reading program, for your invitation. Also for Bessemer Elementary School for the Career Day, for their invitation. I did a food giveaway at Bessemer on May 6th. That was very, very greatly appreciated by the parents. Thank you for the Teacher Appreciation Week and for the Nurses Week. I know that you feel sometimes that you are not appreciated, but let you know that we all appreciate all the hard work you do. And last but not least, the celebration with Dudley High School 3A Championship football ceremony was a great success. I thank everyone who all participated and support. Thank you.
Kim.
A lot of celebrations. I was able to participate in the celebration of Black Excellence And I want to say thank you to Mr. Lee, who's at Penn Griffin School for the Arts, Mr. McCleary Small, and Mr. Rosser, who is at Western Guilford, for bringing the community together for 3 full days of excellence. It was just a great celebration at the Greensboro Cultural Arts Center. And I actually went to the International Civil Rights Museum Friday night for First Friday to, I didn't know I was participating, but I thought I was going to be looking at people dance. But when I got there, you had to participate, but it turned out to be a good workout, and I met some great people. So that was really a lot of fun.
Do they have video?
I hope not. I don't know. Yeah, it was line dancing and then some ballroom dancing. It was just a great night to be out in the community. And I'm hoping that we're going to get more of those things happening, as we go forward. And congratulations, Dr. Oakley. We're so glad that we have you, and we really appreciate you. And I just want to let you know that I see you, girl, and you're doing it, okay? Thank you.
Diane? Uh-oh. Pat?
Thank you. I just want to lift up again the schools that again, I think we added one in the top 10 this year. That we shouldn't be casual about that. I think that's something that's really incredible. When you think about 72,000 students and this big enterprise that is Guilford County Schools. And then we had others that made the top 50 that were not in there. And we beat all our neighbors, so there's something to be said for that. A little competition is a good thing. Dr. Oakley, congratulations. I'm a big fan of yours, and we'll continue to be a big supporter of you. And thank you for all your guidance and answering questions really quick, sometimes on the fly when we need help. So thank you for that. I just want to also thank you to Board Member Irby, Superintendent, Board Member or Chairwoman Hayes, and Vice Chair McGregor for the legislative breakfast, all the coordination that went into that, getting the legislators there. I think we had really productive meetings. I think we, hopefully what came out of that is that we have some more, small group shared accountability. I think that's important if we want to do right by our students and do right by the district. We've got to have the legislators help at the state level. We just can't do it all as a school board or even as a board of commissioners. And to all our students, don't take your pack off. Exams and end of grade tests are coming up. Wish you the best of luck. Get your rest. Study hard. Make us proud. We're counting on you. People like me, we're old. We're going to be out of here. We're not going to be able to do all this. So we're counting on you. I'm looking at my kids too. I know they're not watching, but anyway, proud of our students and all the teachers, again, for all the kind of Herculean efforts going into this year at the start of it with so many unknowns and so many challenges. And just, we didn't know what hill we were going to climb some days. And so proud of the teachers that are in front of our students every day that have to be their best. And we should celebrate them too. Thank you.
Diane?
First of all, I want to remind us that May 17th is the recognition of Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas, 1954. If we did not understand the importance of the Supreme Court, we better now. And I would hope that, as at least whenever I was in school and we talked about the divisions of government, executive, legislative, and judicial, that we understand the importance of what that has meant in this democracy. And I would hate to see things like Brown versus Board of Education wind up being retried again. Because we wouldn't be sitting here, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing for the children. And I had somebody ask me recently, why was it that a particular concept the children were embracing? And I said, it's because they're in public school. because in public school, we try to give kids a variety of experiences that wouldn't happen. You know, I went to segregated schools until 9th grade. I would probably have not gone to school with white kids if it had not been for Brown versus Board of Education, and had that opportunity to have them know me and for me to know them. Belated Happy Mother's Day to all of us who have to deal with children. To our college graduates, who most of them are graduating this past weekend or this coming weekend, congratulations. And to our GCS graduates, who we will be celebrating in the next few weeks, you know, they have a special thing to remember, because I was listening to some interviews where you had kids who graduated last year or the year before who were saying, well, I didn't get to have my total high school experience. I didn't get to walk across the stage or different things. And so this class can say that they've lived through it, lived through the pandemic, lived through being virtual, lived through coming back. And so hopefully what they will do in the future will be stronger, and they'll be more committed to what they need to give back to the community whenever they graduate in a few weeks. And so we need to thank staff for getting them there. I also want to thank I think it's the Summit Rotary Club for some tremendous recognition. I was there a couple of weeks ago, and you know, we sometimes, yes, we ask community to help us, but we need to also recognize that they do step up and help and give encouragement to both teachers, staff, as well as our students. So I'm sure there are probably other clubs out there who are doing that, but that particular one, I was very impressed with what they have been doing over the years for our students. So thank you very much.
It was 17 scholarships they gave, and to your point, they've given more than 325, I think, over the years, and it was just a tremendous reception.
Well, I got to see some wonderful children or students doing some amazing technology. Betty and Anita and I all went to the Hairston, where they got a technology grant, and they had a recording studio, they had a weather or a TV station, and these kids were excited. They were doing amazing things. They were bright, they were energetic, and I really got to enjoy being there, and Mr. Williams is doing a great job out there. The other thing I got to do was the P-TECH and see our signature academies in action. And there again, very bright, very active, very intelligent students that are doing great work. I got to see the Northeast Artificial Intelligence and Cyber, and they did a great job. I also saw the Smith crew in action. So we've got some great things going with technology and our students, and I'm very proud of all of them. They all were amazing. I want to say, you know, I appreciate every employee that works for our students in any capacity. Everyone pulls and everyone does a great job, and we appreciate all of you. But I do want to give a major shout out to our teachers, because obviously May is the month of stress. Trying to get those children to the end of the year when they're all ready to go already. So I'm saying a little prayer for all of you that you make it and that all our children do well in what they need to be doing. So, and then Dr. Oakley, congratulations. I appreciate all that you've done over the years, and I think you'll do a great job.
I'll speak, and then we'll give our chairwoman the final word. I had the great privilege to watch my 22-year-old walk across the stage at NC State University this weekend. And he started at Guilford County Schools back at Lindley Elementary in kindergarten, where he met, my son's name is Parker Mitchell, where he met a kid named Noah Weaver, who he is still roommates with and best friends. And NC State did a video chronicle of their friendship. Noah's mother is a teacher here in GCS. She's been a teacher and a teaching assistant, is headed back into the classroom. It was fun. There were lots of GCS kids at NC State. So I was seeing parents and I was seeing kids go across the stage. And, I don't think Facebook is good for a lot, but it's good for some things. And one of the fun things was seeing his kindergarten teacher and his second grade teacher and his first grade teacher, all these teachers comment who are still here in the community. Like we are a community within the broader community. Comment, congratulations, Parker, we're so proud of you. And even posting some pictures they had. I mean, one, Miss Rhea, who's retired and moved to Hawaii, was still, shouting him out. And Mr. McClurkin, who some of you may have known, was a custodian, a revered veteran, retired Marine who became a custodian, even commented on Facebook. And I think both my boys were as thrilled or more thrilled about Mr. McClurkin's shout out than any of the teachers. He was a great influence on them, and all the kids at Lindley used to carry wads of $1 bills in his pocket. And if it was your birthday, you got $1 from Mr. McClurkin. And there were hundreds of kids in that school. So it was just great to be reminded of that, 12, 13-year journey, and to hear from teachers and other staff, counselors, who helped him along that way and helped so many of our kids along the way and carry them in their hearts for years to follow and show up for them. So it was a great reminder, and there were lots of great things happening out there. So Dina, God bless you, and thank you to everyone tonight for reminding me to remember Dina and to vote and to turn my mic on and to get the motions straight in the parliamentary procedure. So I thank all of you, Attorney Wilson as well, and Dr. Oakley, thrilled that you are still here and continue to grow in leadership, and great things ahead for you, and I know for our kids, so are grateful for you. Dina.
Thank you, Winston, and thank you for standing in. You always do a wonderful job, so I really appreciate it. I'd like to just recognize Mr. Travis Seegers, who is the principal at the North Carolina A&T State University Middle College, Ms. Samara Johnson, Ms. Bennett, Dwayne Waddell, school social worker, Ms. Kimberly Williams, and the fine work that they do with the young men in that program. I was able to watch the SB Senior Awards ceremony, and it was absolutely wonderful. I always look forward to that graduation. I'd also like to congratulate Dr. Oakley. I can't see her face, so I don't know if congratulations is how she's feeling, but looking forward to working with her as she steps into this very challenging role, and challenging for a number of reasons. And I know she's been by Dr. Contreras' side. I was reading an article that came out about Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools and their delays in launching their tutoring efforts. And in the article, it began to talk about Guilford County schools, and there's a link to the Hechinger report that came out last year that said how one district went all in on a tutoring program to catch kids up. And talking about what Dr. Contreras did, Dr. Oakley is quoted in there several times that talked about this is not something we're going to make up in a summer or in a year. It's a long road of recovery. And then we get the data back that showed we had the least learning loss of the major districts in this state. And just all of the other things, in spite of all of the things that our staff, our faculty, our parents, our students have gone through this year, the last 2 years, to have those outcomes is miraculous. And I know there's a lot that we lost. I know that there's a lot of work to do. But Dr. Contreras has left us hasn't left us yet, but has put us in good shape. And I'm glad that Dr. Oakley will be here, someone who was here and helping to steer this with Dr. Contreras and the central office staff and so many people that I can't even name that I know were moving things around, Angie Hendring, and all of the ways that she has to figure out how to make sure that we're in compliance and that money is being allocated to where it's going to impact student experiences and outcomes. And so I'm just really proud to be a part of this district, despite all of the misinformation and all of the arrow slinging. I just don't know how, that can happen with all of the, with all of the good things coming out of Guilford County schools. But the majority of people in this state, and I believe in this country, want to see the right things happen for children and want to work collaboratively and collectively. And so I'm just glad to be a part of that community. So again, thank you, and those are my comments.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. Second.